Okay, so now let's say we're given this equation, x equals 1, and again we're trying to determine the slope and vertical intercept of the line. And what is this telling us? If we're thinking about a line, what line, if you think about a coordinate plane, what line on this plane will have every single x value of the points on that line being equal to 1? So if you think about that, that's the line, right, at x equals 1, right here, which happens to be a vertical line. Okay, so first of all, if you look at this vertical line, where is the vertical intercept? Okay, you should notice that it doesn't ever cross this vertical axis, so there is no vertical intercept. All right, so let me just write that here on the board. And now what about the slope? So remember the formula for slope that we've discussed looks like this, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, where x1, y1 and x2, y2 are 2 points on the line that you're talking about. But notice if I take 2 points on this line, we said that x has to equal 1 for both of those points. So let me just label these as 1, y1 and 1, y2. And if I use this formula for slope, I get y2 minus y1 divided by 1 minus 1, which gives me 0 in my denominator. So I'm dividing by 0, which we can't do. We can never divide by 0. So the slope here is undefined. Okay, so if you ever have something that looks like x equals some number, it's going to be a vertical line as long as that number is not 0, right? If it doesn't sit on the vertical axis, then you won't have a vertical intercept. And the slope will always be undefined, right? Because you'll always be dividing by 0. If you happen to pick 2 points and plug them into this formula for slope, you'll always get something divided by 0. Okay, now let's take a look at this next example, y equals 4. So remember, slope-intercept form looks like y equals mx plus b. So if I want to pick out the slope and the intercept, I want to write this equation to look like slope-intercept form. So notice that would be y equals 0x plus 4, right? There's no x term up here, so m must be 0. So that means that my slope is 0, and my y-intercept given to us by b is the point at 0, 4. Now you could also find this slope by thinking about this line here being the line where every single point on that line has y coordinate equal to 4, or the output is equal to 4. So if that's 4 on my vertical axis, then that means I'm looking at this line here where y equals 4. And if you picked 2 points on this line, let's label these as x1, 4, and x2, 4, and used your formula for slope, notice that your y values are the same, always. They're always 4. So you would get 4 minus 4 in the numerator over whatever the corresponding input values are. So you'd always get 0 divided by some number, which we know is just 0. And I said earlier that our slope was 0. So that's the case for any line given to us by y equals some number here.